Right, it looks like we are live. Happy Thursday, loves. If this is your first time checking out my Facebook Live, thank you so much for checking it out. My name is Dani LeBerry. I'm a virtual licensed psychotherapist and a happiness transformation coach. So I typically work with people who are feeling unfulfilled, unhappy, stressed out, anxious, maybe feeling a little down. So I just want to preface before we even go into tonight's Facebook Live topic that my Facebook has been down for the last month. In August, my business page and my Facebook profiles were hacked, and so I was locked out of my Facebook for the month of September. And for the month of October, I have been slowly having to rebuild the audience, the followers, the content, everything. So if this is your first time checking out my page or my material or my business, if you look on Facebook and you search my name, Dani LeBerry, you will actually see my old business page with my reviews and my history. So that way you know a little bit about me. I didn't just pop up this month. I've been on Facebook now since about probably 2016. But I did want to add that because I'm having to start all over again. And this is my very first Facebook Live with all of my new links and new pages and everything from scratch. So, all right. So, in the beginning of October on 10/10, our last Facebook Live was on World Mental Health Day, which was how to create a balanced life and practical ways to begin checking in with yourself and improving your own mental health. Then last week, our last Facebook, I'm sorry, these weren't Facebook Lives. I'm sorry, these were Instagram Lives. Tonight is my first Facebook Live. So my last Instagram Live, which you can also find me on Instagram at Dani LeBerry, was on emotional intelligence awareness, the ability to really regulate your emotions or self-regulate. So tonight is checklist day, and I wanted to talk about not just, checklists or anything like that, but really if you've been experiencing overwhelm, if you ever find that you are feeling or experiencing like you're spinning your wheels, you're not getting very far, you're feeling kind of disorganized, feeling a little almost like a disorientation, like confused, lost, I encourage my clients to sit down, make a space that's comfortable, either turning on your diffuser or lighting an incense or lighting a candle, getting some essential oils, putting on your oils, and making the environment and the space comfortable. And then once you jot down, either grabbing a piece of paper and a pencil or using your phone and using your notes app, just using something, using a marker board on your refrigerator, but somewhere a space where you can brain dump, where you can write everything down that's overwhelming you. Everything. And even if you feel like, Dani, I don't even know if this is relevant, write it down. Write everything down, put everything down on paper or put it down on your notes app on your phone. Once you've jotted everything down, then prioritize. Now, when I say prioritize, different people prioritize differently. If you want to just take a look at your list, that whole list, after you've written everything down, and then you want to prioritize it yourself, you can go through and then prioritize it yourself, just based on you knowing your routines, knowing your habits, knowing the logistics of wherever you need to go or need to be, if it's errands or things like that. So you can revise the list after you've written everything down. You're going to go through it and then revise it based on priority, on your own kind of your own knowledge, your own experience. Another method you can do once you have everything written down is there's something called the Eisenhower Matrix, or some people call it the Eisenhower box, some people call it the urgent important matrix, but it looks something like this. Let me see, make sure you can see it. And what it is, it's categorizing your checklist by urgent, not urgent, and then important and not important. So you can categorize your what you have on your to-do list based on, is it urgent and important? Is it not urgent but important? Is it urgent but not really important, not urgent and not important? So here we have under urgent and important, do, which these are the things that are high priority. Highest priority, you need to do it now. These are tasks with clear deadlines, and if you don't finish these tasks, there will be consequences, right? So that's under do. Not urgent, but important. This is schedule or decide. Now, depending on where you get this information from, the Eisenhower Matrix, the Eisenhower box, right? Depending on where if you Google this, you may find where some will have it as do, decide, delegate, delete. Some people have it as do, decide, delegate, eliminate, do, schedule, delegate, delete. So don't get too caught up. I'm saying all that to say, don't get too caught up in the verbiage or the terms. Really look at it for what you're putting in those boxes. Okay, so here we have not urgent and important. This is schedule and decide. Plan to finish later. So these are tasks with no set deadline, but they bring you closer to your long-term goals. And then under urgent and not important, these are this is to delegate, give it to someone else. So in this area, you're going to have tasks that need to get done, but they don't need to get done with your expertise, or you don't necessarily need to be the person that completes them. So you can delegate these tasks to other people. Not urgent and not important. Delete or eliminate. These are distractions, BS things, right? So this is one way that you can after you've brain dumped, written everything down on paper, then you can sort it out using this method. So it's called the Eisenhower box, or some call it the Eisenhower Matrix. Some people call it the urgent, important matrix. So these are for checklists, tasks, things to get done. The other thing I wanted to touch on, though, right, aside from checklists and getting things done, because I wanted to point out that, let's say, for instance, you have a checklist and you're noticing that there is a thing or two on there that you just keep procrastinating on. You notice you can get through the whole checklist, but for some reason, there's just one or two things on there that just can't seem to get done. If you're noticing that, take a look at what it is. Take a look at that task, because sometimes, and I'm not just talking about laundry or dishes or, mundane tasks, because some of those things can just be, we just don't feel like doing it. We're grown-up kids. We don't feel like doing it. And then sometimes the task, if it's an actual more important task, sometimes it's because there's a fear of failure or a fear of success. So if this is the case, okay, let me circle back to something earlier. I mentioned about how sometimes like tasks that are mundane, right? That can be like, oh, Dani, I just don't feel like doing this. There is a video, a YouTube video by a woman named Mel Robbins. She's not related to Tony Robbins. And she has a video called the 5-second rule. Not related to dropping food on the floor and picking it back up. But her philosophy is that we have 5 seconds before, this is my little thought bubble, right? When you're thinking something, we have about 5 seconds between the time we think of doing it and the time of actually doing it. So if you notice you're procrastinating on things like the dishes or your laundry, tidying up, pay attention and notice. From the time you think, I really should go do those dishes. Oh, but you know what? Oh, those dogs look like they really should go outside. Let me just take the dogs out instead. And so that's how that happens. Now, so that solution, my tool for you, if you've been procrastinating on things like, like laundry, mundane tasks, check out that video by Mel Robbins, the 5-second rule. She has a video, I feel like it's like 2.5 minutes on YouTube, but it's awesome. It really breaks that down. Now, let's say this is not one of those kinds of tasks. It's not a task like just doing laundry. It's not a task of just getting the dishes done, right? This is something more important. That's where I was saying you want to take a look if this is related to a fear of failure or a fear of success. I'm going to give you a personal example. A couple years ago, I had my long to-do list, and I noticed that I would go through the whole to-do list, and the one thing I kept putting off was putting up flyers and posters around the community about my guided beach meditation. This is when I first started it. I want to say it was like 2018 or 19. And I would get my whole checklist done, and I would keep putting off this one task. And when I sat with myself and I really understood, I was like, okay, what's going on here, Dani? Why aren't you getting this done? I realized that if I were to really go out and put these flyers and posters up that I'm now starting this beach meditation, that would mean I would really need to show up. I really need to show up. I really need to lead the meditation. People are going to be there. So there was a fear of success there. I was deep down, like I had to do some digging, to looking into the subconscious, see what's going on there. So that's why I say if you're noticing that there's a particular task not related to laundry or mundane, and you just keep procrastinating on it, sit with yourself. I encourage you to look at that and see what's underneath that and what's really going on that's stopping you from getting that task done. All right, so enough about checklists. I hope that this information was helpful for you. I do want to share before I go some upcoming events that I have. My book, Stories of an Ex-Party Girl, How to Feel Happy and Good About Yourself Without Alcohol and Drugs, my book club. Every Sunday this month, the 7th, the 14th, and the 21st, we're going over chapter 7, 8, and 9 from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. It's online on Zoom. It's free. So let me know, send me a message or email me if you're interested in that. And then if you're local to Boca Raton, on November 13th, if you're local to Boca Raton, South Beach Park, I lead an in-person guided beach meditation from 8:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. And just an FYI, my birthday is on 11/11. So in honor of my birthday for this month, which is November, for this month's guided beach meditation, if you buy a ticket, you can bring a guest for free. So I encourage you to come check it out. The weather should be beautiful. It cools down at that time of year. Like I said, we're in Boca Raton, South Beach Park, 8:30 a.m., November 13th. And if you have any questions or anything came up for you while you were watching this, please don't hesitate to send me an email. My email is Dani, D-A-N-I, @DaniLaberry.com. Again, my name is Dani Laberry. Thank you so much for checking out my Facebook Live. I hope you have a great night. Take care of yourself, and I will see you on the next Facebook Live.